All right. Now there we go. Now it's recording. So don't want to forget that. So basically, it actually gets even simpler against 9-man. Our offense does. So, which is really nice.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, it kind of reduces the playbook a little bit. You only have what, inside veer and outside veer, or
I will draw midline first because we always start with midline. So
okay.
This never changes. That never changes at all. Unless this guy's a really good dude, this would be a 3-foot. These are always 3-foot splits across the board at a minimum of 3-foot split. So
you understand what you mean by splits?
If this guy does need help, if he is getting there or whatever with your mesh, then you just have to just slide your W over, and then he's just gonna block you if he's creating a problem for you. So a little simple adjustment like that. But then with midline, the rules on midline is to read 1, kick out 2. So it just looks like that. And then the running back's just going to run straight up the gut, and the quarterback pulls and replaces. So this one's just a double option play.
Okay. Is midline always double option?
What's that? Mid triple is triple option. That's the flex one term of it, but we no, midline's just double.
Okay.
So you can make it triple, you can motion a W, but it's just eye candy. But really against the 9-man, I would guess that they're probably going to be in man, and so it doesn't do any good to motion the W over for that.
Right, because you'll probably bring them into the traffic of the play.
Are you guys good with that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, just let me know, and I can.
So midline is read 1, block 2.
And then inside veer now. Nice thing is not the blocking doesn't change here, doesn't change here, doesn't change here. You're just gonna load that linebacker because there's nobody else there. Normally we climb the safety, but that safety is going to be trailing the W probably on this. Again, the same thing up front, same track there. It's just now we're going to motion the W at the quarterback's hip, and then you just, you know what does that. And there's your triple option play, which we call inside veer, which FlexBone calls this mid triple basically.
So inside is read 1, pitch off of 2.
Yep.
Okay. So midline is read 1, block 2. Inside veer is read 1, pitch 2.
Yep.
Okay.
Then the nice thing is you don't ever have to pull anybody. A lot of the blocks stay consistent on the backside, so you're not having to change or learn and teach a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't really want to undo that because that's going to stay the same. Well, there really is nobody. I mean, your guys' outside veer, you don't really need those guys because outside veer now it looks like this. To that. And then you guys won't actually have to. He can step over, kind of bend it back like that, and then the quarterback's out the door. I mean, there's nobody left. You don't have to run it. You don't have to run it with a pitch man.
Right.
There's nobody left out there.
I like it.
That's a good one for especially a running quarterback.
It's all going to benefit your running quarterback.
So it's just block, line, read 2. So and that's it. I mean, there's nothing else there. So
midline is read 1, block 2. Is that correct?
Yep.
Inside veer is read 1, pitch 2.
Yep.
Outside veer is block 1, pitch 2.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. You have to find one that works.
One more time. Midline is read 1,
Yep. Block 2.
block 2. Inside is read 1, pitch 2.
Yep.
And outside is block 1, pitch 2. Okay.
And then the rule for this wide receiver, we have a simple saying. If he's looking in the eye, so if you know it's man, then just run by him. And if he's looking inside at the quarterback, then it's just to block him like that.
Okay.
So that's not pre-called. The wide receiver will know if that corner is in man or zone by looking at him, and then he knows what to do.
Yep.
And you're hoping that these guys during this time, they try to keep an eye on them to see if they're really burning this dude, because then you can just go play action right over the top and touchdown.
I like it.
So now the only thing now that changes, if you wanted to run just straight, we'd call it speed option, would be nothing changes. All you're doing is just changing this. Now you're running speed option. So don't have to change anything. That's what like option works so well with outside veer, because it's all it changes is the backfield. And this is actually probably a little bit easier to run, but both serve its purpose. So because when you carry over to a non-man front, the rules don't change. So that's why it's nice.
Yep.
But yeah, it's a you get a 2-for-1 there with that play too. And then if you wanted to, because actually you guys with this, especially if you can put a speed demon at W or change it around, this would be we just get on here, and then this would be your, if you wanted to mess with any jet sweep, so go in front at the hip, and then just get to the edge. That's your jet sweep, and that's how we'd block it. Always set that edge, and then this S would climb up and be your lead back to find that backer.
And a rocket sweep is no different either, right?
Correct. Then it's just your quarterback carrying the ball, and you're leading both guys around.
Okay.
Which would be even better because for number purposes.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, that's simple, easy tag words like that, saying who's carrying the ball. But we normally don't run straight sweep, like if you move this guy over here and just hand it off to him, because you just don't have the numbers. It's just not, it doesn't set up very well. So we always jet sweep it.
Right.
I'm not sure how they're gonna line up. What would be the best 9-man defense against this? I would probably tend to think that they're gonna do and cheat to the Y side, wouldn't you guys?
I do expect some of our teams that moved from 6-man to 9-man. There was two other teams like us moved up. I could see them playing a little bit more zone. Start with, because they're getting used to it.
Sure.
From my perspective, just defense being my preferred side of the ball, I was thinking, because I love 3-3 and 11.
Yep.
And I was thinking about doing something like a 2-2 and doing 2 eyes.
Okay.
That would be my approach.
Yep.
As far as a base defense, but again, it's 9-man, so I'm still learning how to adjust there too. But
Yep.
I would probably do. What do you think? With the two eyes.
That, for us, that's easy because when you go to two eyes, we're just gonna run outside veer then, and I can put that on here too. But I was just gonna show you what an odd front would look like because it's gonna be different. I'm not even actually sure how it's gonna look yet.
Yeah.
Um, pin line's pretty simple. The thing is, you guys lose cutback though. That's the crappy part. Do you really think that they're gonna sit in zone? Then I would motion on.
Right.
Just trying to think how midline would block the best. Really, how midline would block the best would be what we call veer kick. So these guys are gonna veer block it, like inside veer. Oh, undo that. Here's the guy that's gonna kick it, and then I would bring your W across, and I would have him. You can even bring him right in the hole. I don't really care, but we leave him like that. Because then what happens with you on your midline on here, then on an odd front, is you get this, and then your quarterback can pull and replace. Doesn't mean it changes it up. Same blocking, but we just like to tag it because typically on midline it's just straight ahead blocking.
Right.
So if you're to do that, you'd want to bring in your W like this. And then midline is just this. Just if you ran normal midline, it's just basically like dive. And then again your S can, and it's just like that. But if this dude's aggressive, I mean there's nobody left. So
Right.
that would be your normal. And that could be your base formation against this to bring it in. And do something like that. Just to help out with your numbers. And that way it doesn't have to motion so far.
Right.
So yeah, so inside veer then. You got a double team here at a point of attack. Just like that. Motion back. Motion around. And again, it's the same thing. Now you just got front door. He's got the cutback. And the quarterback's going to again read one, pitch off a 2. So it doesn't really, nothing changes as far as that goes. And then another thing you have to notice too is you guys don't have outside veer against this. According to this, because we can't double team or block this guy. I like a double team with point of attack, so that's again depending on where they line up. You have to know where basically where these two guys are for know if the play is going to work or not. That's one of the big adjustments. There is no outside veer against this. So now you were talking to go like a 3-3.
Yes, but
And
because
then
because it's 9-man, I would my
think,
adjustment would be 2 eyes, so 2-2.
so you're going like that,
Yep.
and then you're thinking leaving one guy here, and then stacking it like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would. I mean, that's a pretty stout defense for this offense. Because you really don't have.
And looking at it, I see how I would attack that defense too. Like we're quick gaming it all day.
You mean passing?
Yeah.
Oh yes, definitely. Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I mean, all
because
this run stuff up in here doesn't really do you any good because it's 6-on-4.
yeah, because you only have 5 gaps.
And we don't have enough to get here because typically what you would do would be the double this stack, and you would have to try to double this stack. But really, what you would do, I would just slow read it, and I would just make it an auto pull.
Mm-hmm.
But there's really no cutback there. these guys here. But if you could just get it where your running back runs up there and your quarterback slowly reads it, then you can just run outside veer like that. Where you block one, read two.
What about just Q ISO?
That too, yeah. But I was
And
just
then
saying,
you just have a
to
lead
stay with
block.
that without having to, call other plays. You would have that's how you would run your outside veer, and your speed option would look great against that too. Speed
Mhm.
option would actually be your best play against this. If you're going to try to run the ball against a 6-man box, would be just to get outside all this, and then to jet sweep or rocket it. Anything out in the D gap, or really now there's only 3 gaps, so C gap. Anything out there is going to be money for you guys. I wouldn't try to run up inside here at all. It's just a mess. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And then what are you guys doing for see, we always have the best success against a 4-2. 4-2 is like the easiest to run against. So 3-3 is the hardest for us. And it's still also, I mean, when you're moving guys like that, it's hard here too. So
Because when you say the hardest, is that referring to 9 men or 9 and 11?
what's that?
3-3. Is that hard for a 9-man or both 9 and 11?
Both 9 and 11.
Okay.
Yep, definitely. That's the toughest defense because usually the only time we ever see that around here is in the playoffs, and they're usually, if they're a playoff team, they're good. They're good at running what they do.
Yeah.
So, um, was what else did you want to see? Um,
What would you like to see, Coach?
what other questions you got?
Well, like I said, I'm very new to a lot of this, so I'm trying to listen to a lot of the terminology and stuff like that on a lot of these things. But I guess the only one little thing I'm kind of thinking about is the option plays are definitely some of the things we definitely would love to see hitting those outside spaces. But because I know we may have a little weakness because this group has never they've never had line play before in their life.
Okay.
So that's the issue here with our Dodia Sports. Is because they're moving from 6 that really didn't have much of a line play to now 9-man. And the players, I have one maybe that has some experience, the rest
Right.
don't.
Yeah.
So only thing I'm worried about is if these formations will be too difficult.
So, in talking with you about that,
Yeah.
the reason why I chose or why I suggested option football is because there's no pulling.
Okay.
And pulling is like one of the hardest things to teach. But if they play basketball and come in here and play 9-man, it's no different than a basketball screen, except for now you can actually use your hands.
Okay.
Right. So all they gotta do is just get in front of them, double team them, get 4 hands on one guy, and long enough for the quarterback to make the read on if he's pulling or keeping. You're not asking them to do a lot other than when it says read, instead of putting their hands on them, they're just releasing and getting up to a linebacker and getting their hands on that linebacker.
Okay.
So that's why I like option.
Yeah, no.
football
I
for-
mean, I'm just still wrapping the head
yeah,
around it to make sure that for the players is the biggest thing. When we start trying to show this to them, this and that we feel like this is something they can get their head around.
right.
That's the main thing.
Mhm.
Yep. That's why this 1-2 thing has helped out a lot of option teams. Just identifying who those 1 and 2 guys are. And that's all you have to do to get up to the line and find out where 1 and 2 are, and then they tell you what play. So now if this guy decides that, they move inside here, now this is an info then I can send you. And it says if 1's in the A gap, so whether he's 2I, like Coach was saying, or if he's 1I, then we're just gonna run outside veer. I mean, they just gave it to you. Because now you're just nothing changes over here. They still got the exact same things, even though they're gonna Now they're probably gonna take away midline. Now it's even better. Now you just run outside veer to that.
Do you understand what he means by if then?
Say it again.
If then. So in football, we have rules, right? And but rules are meant to be broken. And then this will come down to you finding a smart young QB that can make those reads. And it's as simple as 1 or 2, right? And it's you. I don't think you're asking a lot of them. If you
Mhm.
teach them like these rules, the quarterback, he comes and he sits and he's looking. If 1 is in the A gap, then I'm choosing this play.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
If
Yeah.
2
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
here,
Yeah.
then I'm
Yeah.
choosing 1. And
Yeah.
basically that's the beauty of option. And then you can just have your code words and you tell the line apple, orange, Mario, Luigi, whatever you want to say, as long as the team know what the if then rules are, the quarterback can make you right all the time. It's just a matter of letting the athletes be athletes.
Right. Right. I mean, I mean, I do a lot of read and react offense style
Yeah.
things in basketball. So
Right.
that's what I'm trying to find something for them that they can read and react here in a
Mhm.
way on these.
Yeah, because these if you can get a quarterback that could recognize this, just that guy being in there, you'll run on. You can run against this all day long.
Mhm.
Actually, when I was coaching, my center was the guy that made the call because he could see him right there,
Yep.
and he would just go back and tell the quarterback, "Hey, we can't run here," because he can see him being there. So he would just turn around, "Hey, quarterback, can't run here. It's in the A gap." So the quarterback just for us it was green 14. We just switched outside veer. Bam, we just said green. Kids knew what was to do, and then we always for line calls. The only thing we ever made was a poison call. So if we're not blocking this guy, he was poison. Don't touch him. He's poison. So just making a little simple call like that helps your lineman identify who not to block. And usually the center was in charge of that.
Nice. I like that one.
Okay.
Poison. What about your play action? What does that look like?
Oh gosh, we got so many play action passes. They all look the same.
I mean, that's the beauty of options, right? Make it all look the same.
So we'll start with this first because the line doesn't change. So we're gonna use now we'll use 5-man protection. So he'd slide here, he'd slide here. So now we have we have 5 out of the 6 gaps blocked. Nope, 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 nope. Never mind. Stop that. Back it up. The tight end's eligible to go for a pass. Then you're faking. We usually like to fake fear on that.
Mm-hmm.
So then now he's always got a flare. So now you can just run these guys. You can run these guys and goes. Run the tight end up the seam. We have where we do hitch and goes or stop and goes on the outside. We have where we run about 8 yards, yeah. Where we run dagger off of that. Tight end's always just running up the seam to occupy. Well, there might not be anything to occupy. That backer might step up on
That
per
motion.
run, and he might be wide open a lot
Yep.
against this. And we found that out in 8-man that our tight end was wide open every single play. He had 120 yards receiving in one game on 8 catches because they just couldn't account for him. So you got all those options on just the passing game there. Then the other thing too, you can boot pass. And this is where the quarterback was, or the tight end was wide open, was running boot. And then he would just have a fade comeback, and he would have a backside post. So then your quarterback's gonna go step up, spin around, and then that tight end probably wide open. Because I'm guessing when you motion, this free safety's gonna motion with them.
Mm-hmm.
And those linebackers step up for run, and your tight end's wide open. So tight end could probably be one of your better dudes against this type of with this defense or any defense that you face. Your tight end's probably going to be making a lot of catches. And then
Quarterback.
if you were to run if you wanted to run the air raid concepts like we're running this year, I would just switch to this. And bam, now you can run any air raid concept there is out there. So we're gonna run 3 this year. And it's really simple. For air raid, it's not really a big term like everybody thinks. If this guy's within 7 yards of this guy, then he is covered. If he was to be playing off, then you can the quarterback just looks here and throws that slant automatically. Doesn't matter what's going on over here. They call this the gift side, and the quarterback can just look at that pre-snap. Whether this guy's here or here, he knows just to throw the ball. Now he knows not to throw the ball there. Wide receiver's still gonna run his route, but the quarterback's not gonna look at this side. And so now on this side, we can run like fade out, and like that would be your fade out. And we are going to this would be Y stick.
Mhm.
And then the other one is Y corner. So it looks like that. So basically we send 3 guys in the exact same area, and I can send you this, and that's all we're gonna run. We're just gonna run those 3 concepts, auto trips, and tell the defense good luck. Because we don't really pass the ball a lot, but with those 3 right there, it's really simple for the quarterback to look over here and see if he's open by alignment. Then he'll come over here and see if this guy is open by alignment. So if he's on certain ones, and then it's like basically the rule on fade out is if he's open, if he's down here on the hard deck, he is open by alignment. But if that corner was to automatically start to bail right away with him, then you automatically come right down and read this flat player, which obviously with the free safety being back there, and they're going to have to really adjust their defense here somehow to get backers over here, which could really change your box, your run box, but auto trips too. But then you just throw your out. So there's different things like that. But if you're worried about the run game or the the blitz, you can I don't know what term you guys would say, but you could leave your Y in the block, and you can have your running back
This is all.
run the shoot. So just by simple tag word, Y stay, S arrow or S shoot. You know, if you just basically called the play and said Y stay, then the running back knows that he's running the shoot route. So just a simple term like that, right in the play call, so they know. But air raid is something that we evolved into because we used to be a passing tree. So our kids had to know 10 different routes plus all the tagged routes, and now they don't have to understand any of that. They only have to understand what they do on those 3 plays.
Yep. So those are your only 3 passing plays?
Out of the quick game, and that's the other thing too. This is quick pass game, which means this is all on one step.
Yep.
So we're getting the ball out fast. So you want to
Yep.
talk about an offense? You want to talk about an offense that's helpful for linemen that are inexperienced? That's this.
Yep.
Because
Do you ever
quarterbacks
go down the
basically
center?
looks here, doesn't like it. I'm going to the concept side. I say set hut, step back, the corner bails, I throw it a ball. It's that simple. One step, ball's out. And it's just a rep those in practice.
Do you ever go under center?
Nope. Just
Okay.
split back beer, which you guys won't be there anytime soon this year. So no use even worrying about that one. So no, there's no reason to go that. And that's the only that is going to be our passing formation. We are just going to get into trips, and that is going to be the only one that we pass that quick game out of because it just lines up so much nicer.
What else you got, Coach?
So
I said, what else you got?
right now, I'm just trying to take in what he's saying and everything, trying to make sure I'm just trying to
And this
soak
book
it in.
is only $20. Coach Salas did this for $20. I don't know what
Right.
shipping would be over there, but it's off Amazon. Real cheap. So he's the one between him and Matt Lasker are the two that I learned the air raid.
Matt Lasker. That's ringing a bell. trying to think. Matt Lasker.
Yeah, he's the middle school air raid guy.
Okay, yeah. Matt.
Me,
Okay.
me and him
Mhm.
did a 5-part webinar series on how to install our offenses, and by the
Right.
time I got done, I was totally sold on his stuff
hmm
and what he does at the middle school level with the younger kids and teaching them this. It was just amazing.
Yeah, he starts as early. He starts lower than that. with
So,
his youth team.
and then I had Coach Salas talk on in my group a couple times, and I didn't realize that he was like a living legend with the guys that he coached with
Mm.
over here on the staffs of Hal Mummy and Mike Leach. So that was,
Mm.
and I had him on twice. It was great.
That's good. I heard you mention the hard cap or whatever. Do you get that? Is that terminology you already knew, or did you get that terminology from Dub Maddox
I got that from the air raid guys.
from Air Raid? Okay.
Yep, I learned that from. I first learned it from. Oh, I can't think of his name. He has the Let's Talk Offense group. But he was my R4 guy,
Yeah,
and so
Dub Maddox.
he taught me the R4. I don't really use that because it's not really practical with our offense.
Right.
And it's but he's the one that taught me the hard deck,
Gotcha.
which is at 7 yards. So
Mhm. That's one of the books I was the first one to say help me.
and this route doesn't have to be, um, if the quarterback doesn't have the arm strength, it doesn't have to be a slant. They said the younger kids do slants. Some of them just do little 5-yard hitches real quick.
Yep.
And then the other thing is now Coach Salas, they actually on the backside, they actually just run a little 5-yard in just to kind of work in away from that corner. That's kind of what they run. So again, it whatever fits your quarterback and what your needs are doesn't just because you run it doesn't mean it has to be a certain route. Just has to be a completion every single time. So
Any other tips or pointers into running this offense?
well, you guys don't really need to worry about the RPO, I wouldn't think. Although you could run it out of this right now, I guess, if you wanted to run the RPO. Because all you're doing is blocking outside veer here, like this, like that, and then these guys are gonna run this, and then your running back's just gonna run like that. So your quarterback really reads this guy if he comes on for dive, and then he can take off and run. They don't have the numbers here. I don't know if you guys would see a 4-2. They do run it in Minnesota though, because the high school that I'm, our high school team runs 9-man here. So
So you're
they've
coaching
been
9 right now?
what's that?
You're coaching 9-man right now?
No, the high school that I live at in town here runs 9-man. I don't coach on the field.
Gotcha.
I just still consult. So, but this would be an RPO. So it's that, you think of the word RPO and you think it's so much, but really it's not. Quarterback now, just if that guy comes down and takes that dive, he can pull it. And then if the free safety, for some reason, why I would think that it's run, then if he comes screaming down for the quarterback, then he can throw it to either one of these guys. If he pulls it and he goes to cover out, then the quarterback runs it. So out of this, you definitely have that at your if you wanted it, because basically Mike Leach taught me that you need to have. I can see, would counter work for you guys? Let's look at counter real quick before I go. look at counter. Yeah, I know counter wouldn't work that great. You'd have to run it like quick trap.
Yeah. That's the only pull that I was thinking about would be trap
Because you'd have to run it like,
from him. Yeah.
yeah, it just doesn't block. It does not block well. So yeah, and then plus right now with your lineman, you don't want to pulse. Yeah, you just don't have trap, and that's totally. You don't have counter or trap.
Well, I think you have trap if you have the center block back to the D tackle and the left guard trap the one. You have the center block back and the guard traps the one.
Yeah, that's what I mean again. But then you're having to teach linemen to pull that have no
Right.
experience. So I wouldn't even worry about that play. Because I think your passing game, whatever you guys choose for pass plays, are going to be pretty dang lethal against this. It's the only thing I could see them doing again. I don't want to delete that. Put that guy back there. There we go. Perfect. I was just thinking if they actually try to do some kind of like trying to think, what would they do with these guys? I don't know if anybody's ever gonna line up like this and just cover everybody up and do something like that and just try to get like some kind of pass coverage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And go some kind of cover one or cover zero. They might actually just line this guy up over the running back and think, and he's gonna have to go like that. But then you can just run outside here against this all day again too. So yeah, I don't know that. I mean, I can keep studying some of the defenses. Max sent me the same 3-3 defense that you, and he sent me the same 4-2 that I went over with you because my best friend out in California was a 9-man coach for a few years.
Okay.
So I was picking his brain yesterday when I was like, I got some 9-man coaches, but he said the defenses are pretty basic.
Yeah.
So
what are the common defenses that he said you'll see with them? 4-2, 3-3?
We normally see a 4-2 or a 3-4. Those are the two that we normally see almost all season is between those two. Out in California, we saw a little bit of 4-3. But that is all that was for adjustment for us was just to put the Y on the line of scrimmage. I mean, it's that simple.
Yeah, but
so because our base formation, see, I don't know how they're gonna line up against this. This is our base. This is normally our base where we start. Whoop, I don't put him on offense or on defense. This is how we start. So how are they going to line up like
formations I saw in the book I was reading too? Actually, you gotta have that 2-2 formation on offense.
Right. But I mean, if you're going to base out of option though, wouldn't you want to base with 4 on the line with the tight end tight?
Well, he wouldn't have to be completely. He can be right there. He doesn't have to be on the line.
But I'm just like looking at this, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if these guys are gonna play like this, like that, I mean, then you just can run. You can just double team this, read this guy, and
double team. Yeah.
You're gone. I mean, because these two guys can't be right. And then the running back's just going to pick his hole based on what he sees in front of him.
Yeah.
And it's a kick out block there. And then the quarterback can just read and take off.
Because that DN on the right becomes your one.
Yep, that'd be the one, yep. But for you, I mean, you only got one play, and you only need one play against this.
Right.
But that's if they're worried about you passing the ball. I mean, if you guys get good at passing the ball, what's going to happen? They're going to have to take those guys in the box and move them out of the box.
Yeah, but so that right there would be inside veer.
Yeah. The only yeah, I don't even know what you call that. Actually, we changed the name on that. We just called it read option.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't fit with the terms of the blocking because it's for us, very rare to ever see that. So
Okay, so that raised the question. When you say 1 and 2, when you're reading 1 and 2, is 1 and 2, do they have to be on the line, or can one?
no, so like right now, if you wanted to, I would take this guy as 2.
Right,
It doesn't mean like he's gonna be there all
right,
the time. So
and that's why I asked.
Yeah, because if he decides to go down,
Right, and that's why I said that would read as that would be inside veer based off of the rules. Read 1 and pitch 2.
correct, but then you need a pitch guy. So
Yeah,
and you got to bring this guy because anytime you say
Mhm.
outside veer or inside veer, you have to have a pitch guy. Which is okay though because now you have the numbers and now the Y is just gonna go and block that free safety.
so okay, that raises another question. Do you always have to have a pitch guy with? I'm sorry, is inside veer the only one that requires a pitch guy? Because when you talk
Yes.
about midline and outside, they
Does
didn't have a
not.
pitch. Okay,
Correct.
so inside veer is your true triple then.
Yep, it's the only true triple. Yep. It's the only one that requires a pitch guy.
All right. Nice. That just taught me something new today. I always thought that all 3 of those plays had to have a pitch guy.
Oh, gotcha. No. That's why I said you can run double or triple option.
Yeah.
Because a lot of our plays are double option.
And I think you've answered my questions. I'm kind of want to throw some other things out there, but
I don't have, like I said, I'm just learning what he tells me right now. I'm just seeing all these different spots and stuff like that, seeing how they all fit together. That's what I'm just trying to figure out. I mean, because like I said, I've been reading the other book, the
surface to air.
surface to air system book.
Oh, nice. Yep.
That's what he has. Surface.
That's what I've been reading, trying just to get a little basis or basics with it to try to figure out what's going to be the best thing for us as a team.
Yes.
So with that, what I would ask you, Coach, is what do you think about choice passes, like the run and shoot, but keeping it simple?
So
like
choices are
choice.
choices are only drop back.
Yep, and that's what I wanted to help him. That's
the beauty thing is with choice, the guy that I had talk on that Zoom that runs the run and shoot is they really simplify it for their kids. So when they call choice, they're tagging who they're throwing the ball to.
Yep.
So choice is the only drop back pass that we have. And so basically what it ends up being, like, let's say you want to throw it to W. And right now, so he's your dude, you want to get him the ball. Okay. So your quarterback automatically knows that he's throwing it to him. So here's the cool thing about it. If he burns him, he throws it over the top. If this backer turns and bails, then he knows just to break it off. As soon as he gets beat, if he can't beat him, he just turns, looks inside, the ball's gonna be there.
Yep. Cap, snap, cross.
So they can't be right. Defense can't be right. So that's how it becomes choice.
So I coach the base flag football team, and that's our base package is choice.
Okay.
But I do it by the 4 elements. I call it fire, water, earth, and air.
Okay.
And that's how I tag which receiver is the choice receiver.
Sure.
But in mine, it's not an automatic throw to them.
Okay.
I have rules that kind of like helps with that. So like if he's your first read, because I do the R4 rhythm read, rush release.
Oh, you do? Okay. So
as far as coaching that up when I attack the choice. So then choice is rhythm. The choice route is the rhythm. And then so the rules are if you're inside of the choice route, you're running a dig. If you're outside of the choice route, you run a comeback.
Okay.
And so it gives them that dig occupies the free safety.
Yep.
And opens up that choice route.
Sure.
But those are the baseline rules.
Yeah.
The only thing is your players have a little more knowledge. As I did mine probably do.
Well, I just
on
like
some
that
of those
coach
things.
that when he said like he basically they they knew who they wanted to get the ball to, and so like so another one's like, okay, we want to get the ball to this guy, and so then the defense dictates where he's going to get the ball. Like you said on the outside, these guys, like you said, if he gets beat deep or he's got inside leverage because you're playing if he's playing inside, again, then the defense can't be right, and then he's just going to again instead of running it into where the corner is, then he knows to run the comeback, just like you said. So
That's it. Yeah, choice is simple. The receivers, they have 3 routes.
yeah,
And they have 3 alignment rules. If I'm outside of the choice receiver, I run my comeback. If I'm inside, I'm running the dig.
yep.
That's it. And then the only other person that has the choice is whoever you tag. So if I wanted my X receiver to be the choice receiver, I say water.
Oh,
So,
gotcha. So then this guy knows to clear it out. He's gonna run the dig then.
Yep, he runs the dig, and then the backside I can tag it however I want. It can be
Gotcha.
quick game, or it can be verts, it can be dagger, it can be whatever.
Yes.
But, yeah.
And honestly, backside, since you're already air raid, I would just run 2 slants just to
Exactly.
having to run all their 20 yards on the field.
Yep.
I would just have these guys run. If your choice is over here, to just have these guys run double slants.
Mm-hmm.
And who's to say you can't still gift side this? If he's lined up here, you could still throw it. You can still throw your backside slant on the gift side still.
Yep, and I
The
would have
gift side's so nice and so simple. I just love that. That concept just blew my mind. That gift side.
Yeah, and then if you're gonna have Z run the slant, Y can run a bubble.
Yep. Well, I don't like that because that doesn't make that flat player move. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
So
if his job is to hold is playing zone, like when we were taught zone as linebackers, we were taught to either redirect this guy, sit underneath and react to flat.
Gotcha.
So if this guy's just gonna run here, well, dude, I can just sit underneath this, and then if he throws it out there, I can rally to the ball, and if he catches it for a 1 yard, 2 yard gain, that's no big deal to me. So that's why I'm not a fan of slap bubble. I know guys are, but I'm not one of them. Because I want that inside guy to move, to have to make a decision.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've played there before, so I do know that.
Yeah. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else. I just kind of wanted to throw that out there because I know Coach Manny Matusik, how we say it, he calls it triple shoot. He runs option football for his base run game and then run and shoot pass game.
Okay.
That's what I love about his offense. Like if I was to ever run something, it would be triple shoot all day.
That my friend out in California, Coach Blue, he won back-to-back state championships at this new school he was at, and he ran RPO offense every single play, but his was pre-snap RPO. So he called a run play in the huddle and a pass play.
Yeah.
And then the defense dictated on their alignment whether they ran the ball or they threw the ball. And so he had 4 base run plays, 4 base pass concepts that they ran together out of many formations, and they just went to town with that.
Yep.
And that was really interesting. And I've had him on, but that was quite a few years ago now. I haven't talked to Coach Blue lately.
Gotcha.
But yeah, that was a good way of doing it too.
I like
but
that.
then his was like air raid though, basic. So he was running GT and pulling guys. That way he didn't have to worry about getting called blocked downfield. So that's why GT counter pairs so low with air raid, because you're not having to worry about getting guys blocked downfield.
Right.
Where mine is, I'm not going to worry about these big boys in the front. I just want to get to the next level and get downfield.
Yeah. And so RPO could be dangerous.
Yes.
Modern RPO.
But yeah, I don't like the pre-snap. I don't like the pre-snap RPO that or anything, because I really just like to focus on where those first 2 guys are for the quarterback.
Right.
And it keeps it simple for him. He can just get up to the line, look for the number 1 defenders where the 2 is, and then he knows what 2 best plays are. And basically, if they're in the A gap, they give you're just running 1 play. So, And it's just fine because that's the play we want to be running anyway. That's the easy one.
Oh yeah, install. You do install midline first, right?
Yep. So
Midline.
I've switched our install. I have both plans still saved, and I can email them to you. I can share them right off of here. But I switched to the air raid 4-day install. I switched my offense to that.
Nice.
So, but I'm still running. Like you guys don't have to worry about that because you guys only really have to run the 4 midline, inside veer, outside veer, and option. We still have to fit in quick trap unless you want jet sweep, but I do have it all on there. But I switched to a 4-day install because in Minnesota, for an example, they get 8 practices in the summer, and then they get 2 weeks before the season, or they get and then they get a mini camp, and then they got 2 weeks before the season starts. So you can actually install your offense 5 times, over and over and over again, 5 times, which is really nice. See, I'm used to old school 10-day install. Well, all you're basically covering is 1 play that day, or maybe 2, and then you're just running that play all day long, and then you go to the next day and you're running the next play, and then so nothing really overlaps, and
Right.
then by the end of 10 days, then you finally got your whole entire offense, and then you're gonna go in and play. So to me, it was way more efficient, and I made the change. I switched everything over. And I do have a 2 hour. I don't know how long do you guys get to practice?
Do what?
How long is practice?
Usually a little, maybe over 2 hours. Just a little over
Perfect.
2
So
hours.
I
usually.
have a 2 hour practice format. Hang on. I have a 2 hour practice format already made up on there to practice offense and defense.
Nice.
So basically it's 10-minute periods. It's all organized. If you got 3 coaches or 4 coaches, that's enough to do it all. I can
Yeah,
well
that'd be
here
nice.
while we're on here, I'll just share it with you guys right now. So if you guys got any questions, you
No,
can
sir.
ask away. Let's see Excel.
Yeah. We will greatly appreciate
Yeah.
those resources.
Any.
Yeah. But like I said,
Make
for
sure-
me, as I told Coach Jackson, I'm pretty much self-taught. I brought my whole box of books and everything. I got Coach Kenny Simpson, his first 3 books. I have all of Dub Books's. I have books, Dub Maddox books. I have all of Cody Alexander books, and that's my library. So
And I love football. It's just I've just never, I guess, had the
yeah,
like coach or any of it before.
yeah,
I mean, that's just being from Alabama, though.
right. It's like you're born into it.
Yep.
What? Hold on, let me stop my share here. For some reason, why it's being really dumb.
Yeah, that book even shows how the kind of like install that I have. Well, there was like a 3-day.
Yep.
But like he was talking about a 3-day install.
Mhm.
And it was like what they say, it was like a rinse and repeat
Yep.
type thing. Issue this week. Don't want to put a huge amount of stuff in because I'm not going to have the full kids out there yet till that next week when school officially starts back and we actually know who's actually here at the school.
Right. I think
With the PCS people, we just don't know who is here yet and who is actually going to play.
Yeah, I think what I was kind of getting to when you're talking about the knowledge of the game, that's what I would focus on this week.
Okay, perfect. Got it. All right, now how do I gotta minimize this?
Running
Share
routes
this.
and stuff like that, teaching the route, and that's why I wanted Byfield because I know he's really good.
So, first of all, to organize, well, you guys already have my contact info. I just put the formations that you plan on running on a separate page, and for us with 11 man, we end up with 42 different formations is what we pride ourselves on. Here's all of our plays. But again, everything's changed now because all this stuff here we've taken out of the offense, and I've taken all this passing tree out of the offense. I've cut out 8 of our 16 run plays that we ran, And then again, then we just switched to three quick and one drop back. So I've simplified it a lot. Our RPOs, boot and tags. And I showed you the boot. You don't have to worry about counter and that kind of stuff. And so that again, so you can see the old school 10-day, how we did it. And now here's what we're doing, the whole offense in 4 practices. But yours would probably look like midline, inside veer, and then you would do outside veer with option because it's exactly the same, and then probably jet sweep. So you'd basically be focusing on 1 run per day.
Yeah.
And then you can focus on 1 screen per day. Again, since we have so many play actions for high heavy play action, we have 8 different play actions. So we have to just double up on those. And then we're just running either an RPO or boot one of those days, and then just putting in your quick passes, and then our 4th practice would have the drop back.
Nice.
But that's basically how the 4-day install plan works. It's
You
just,
said you would share that with us?
yep, this I can just email to you guys right after. we
Okay,
hop in here.
appreciate that.
It's just got a little
Cool.
share button right here, and it sends right to you guys.
For the
Yeah, make major changes, major cuts, but I think with this, it really would make our offense way more efficient and really help the players out.
what about the screen game? I guess if you don't mind explaining that.
We don't have a spring practice here in Minnesota. Or
Oh, screen.
Screen.
That's-
oh, the screen. Sorry,
Yeah.
screen.
What's quick, tunnel, bubble, and middle? Like, what's that look like for you? Or how will we execute that in 9-man?
Your 2-man side. See if I can go back to my screen. Didn't. See if I stop this share and go back to so we can use. Yeah, so we can use this. So I'll just focus on this side. It's simple enough. And delete. So our quick would be this. Oh, come on. So let me.
Glitching out on you?
It's not letting me. Not showing up on here. Let me. Gotta love technology.
That's how we felt when we got started. Oh, you're pulling from the playbook. Gotcha.
All right, here we go. So you guys can see this cursor.
Yes.
So quick screen would mean that the Y would go block the corner, and he would just take 2 steps back. Tunnel would be he's gonna come in a little bit because if it's press man, so it's just basically this guy's basically you'd want to just be like we're gonna run quick screen, but it might end up being tunnel depending on where that corner is. If the corner's playing press man, then we're gonna run tunnel because then he's gonna kind of bring that guy in with him.
Okay.
And so then he's just going to come in and then work his way back out. And then bubble would be this.
So
Would be
quick,
bubble would be to the Y.
right.
And so basically this would be it's a quick screen, unless it's press man. Then we want to go if we want to get him the ball, then it becomes a tunnel because he's got to come inside.
Okay, so you're running tunnel if the corner is playing press,
Yep.
bubble if the corner is off.
Yep. Quick if he's off.
Quick, quick, the corner is off. Tunnel, the corner is on.
Basically inside the hard deck if it's if it's a hard deck thing.
Okay. Under if the corner is under the hard deck.
Yep.
And then you had
Bubble would be to your Y. And then your Z is gonna go block.
okay, so quick and tunnel is still both to Z.
Yep, still both to the Z. It's just how he's getting the ball.
Okay.
And we just want to have that communication so the quarterback knows where to place it and everybody's on the same page.
But is Z's footwork still the same?
As
So-
far as
So okay, I got it. I think I got it now. So for quick, he's taking the 2 steps straight back
yes,
and catching the ball. Tunnel, he's actually working towards a cut.
you gotta take a step back and work in towards the Y and then back out again.
Okay.
Because he's
So
got to get away
quick-
from that press corner. If he just does that hut and just takes his 2 steps and stops, then that press corner can just get a hold of him.
Yeah.
But if he steps in and works down and that Y comes in and cracks his butt, then then we're fine.
And then bubble is to the Y. Why would you run bubble? What's the rule?
So why that means that now because if he's not being covered,
Mm-hmm.
like we see a lot because they don't really care that he's out there. We see covered 0. So usually the dude that's covering the Y for 11 man is 10 to 12 yards deep.
Mm-hmm.
So then the Z is gonna go, which means they're probably in 0. So that means the Z will go block, and we're just gonna throw it to the Y out here because his guy is 10 yards deep off of him.
So Z is going to run the corner off, and Y.
Z, I would want him to. Well, yeah. Again, depending on where he's at.
Yeah. And then what's middle? Did you have a middle screen?
Yep. So that would be like, I wish this thing would work right now, but I think my trial thing would be to your lineman release, and then we throw it to the S right behind where the lineman just left,
Okay.
or the Y because we'll go empty, and so then your Y can do that, or the W can be. So they all can run middle screens right behind. The linemen are going to block 1, 2, release, let everybody go, and then we're just going to throw the screen behind them.
Okay.
But it's an easier pass to get it over the middle than it is to try to do those flare screens and all that stuff, and the linemen with the angles and where they got to run. So the middle screen is just so much simpler because it's just 1, 2, and release and go straight ahead without having to run way over to the sideline and try to find somebody to block.
Okay. And tunnel is the running back or any slot receiver. Got it.
Yep.
I mean middle. Okay. That answered a lot of questions for me today as well.
And then, so I got rid of the jailbreak. We've never ran it. I mean, we know what it is. We know how to coach it, but we don't run the jailbreak where that's where, you release everybody and have that receiver come running way inside and doing it that way. That's why the middle is just so much simpler. And it's one that we actually run a lot. So we've gotten pretty good at it.
Oh, it's called middle. Yeah. Okay. I'm done. I'm shutting down.
Oh, and then, so then here's your 2-hour practice plan. What the coaches do, what's going on. I do have 2 coaches now at the middle school level, one in Virginia and one in New Jersey that are implementing this because they could not figure out how they can coach both offense and defense in a 2-hour period. I'm like, it's not really that hard. And so this one, when I first did this one alone has 1,200 views now in my group. A lot of coaches were kind of blown away by this. So this is something that my team, and before I even started playing, have been running their practice like this. So they've been doing this since 1988, 89, like long time. Still do it to this day. So
So how does that work out? I'm trying to make sure. I'm
Yeah, the
reading.
specialty, so you have 10 minutes.
Okay, so you come out and you do your jacks and starts, or your stance and starts, your dynamics, stretches together as a team. Go to specialty, which is special teams. So because we don't want to miss special teams, so we do it right away and get it out of the way.
Yep.
So when you're doing special teams, basically then you're gonna identify who your kicker is gonna be, who your holder is gonna be for extra points, and who your snapper is gonna be. They're gonna go to the goal post, and that's all they do is work on kicks for 10 minutes. Me, since I was a running back, didn't really have a spot. I went and learned how to be a snapper because injuries happen, stuff happens. We had 3 kids snapping, 3 kids punting, and then the returners all went down there and took turns returning punts. And then during that time, then each practice, you'd work on your PATs, field goals, you'd work on your kickoff, kick return. And so again, I color coordinated now. So now this is your day 1 insertion, day 2, day 3, day 4. So you're gonna work on each of those special teams those days and put those people, those personnel groupings on the field and go over those special teams. So you got 10 minutes to do that. And then with any time now, depending on how many coaches you got, we only had 3 in California. My high school in Minnesota, we had 9 coaches. So, which was nice for me being a volunteer because I got to go and learn whatever I wanted to. I didn't really have to do much. I got to do a lot of learning hands-on. But your quarterbacks are going to go over and warm up, and they'll work on, depending on, like I said, here we're going to work on midline, inside veer, and then here's your routes for the day. Here's the pass plays. So you got these 2 runs, these passes. So your quarterback should be working on reading at this time, midline and inside veer, working on the footwork, that kind of stuff. This wouldn't be a bad time to go. And then, so if you have 2 quarterbacks, one guy can be working with the run, one guy can go throw the passes. And pretty much want to have 2 quarterbacks at least. You can have them switch halfway through too, so they're both getting both. And then depending on if you have a running back drill, the running backs, they can just hand off each other one simple running drills, and then the wide receivers, they're going to go run these routes during that time. So they're going to run their go routes, their dig routes, their fade outs, or the fade out routes, which would be go out and the arrow route. So they're going to go run the ones for that. And then when you do inside run haul, then the linemen, the quarterbacks, and the running backs are together. So now your wide receivers are off by themselves. So now they're going to go over their stock blocking and how to run block during that time. And so then they're just going to run midline and inside veer, just those 2 plays, which I haven't run script on here. My run script. So there's your run script. So it's already scripted. So I already know what plays to run for that practice. And then as a coach, if you're filming or whatever, and then you can switch up the defenses against them, and you have it all on film. And then really, in 10 minutes, you can easily get through 10 or 16 plays in no time. I mean, you're not even a minute to play. So that'd be against a scout defense. So if you're not on offense, you're on defense holding a bag.
Yep.
And then your 7-on-7 passing, again, now that would be your quarterback, your running backs, your tight ends, your wide receivers. Now your linemen are going to go work on pass blocking during this time. So here they're going to go through and do their run block. Here they're going to go do their pass block, which is really nice. Now so most of the positions get an extra set of indie time because of this format.
Right.
And then you do your team offense versus your scout defense. So everybody comes together then. And then again, that is everything for us was scripted. So here's your 7-on-7 passing script, what we're going to work on that day. And then here's the whole team offensive script. So you can get through the plays really fast. And then your guys on the other side, they know exactly what defense you want to see and what coverage you want to see.
Nice.
That just keeps everybody on the same page.
And then I guess my next question is, I see the offensive players, but you also have defenses scripted. So how how do you break that down for the defensive Indy, or what's your recommendation?
So yeah, then when now you don't even have to go in, you're already out there, so you can go right to your tackling circuit, which is very important. Like, to teach kids how to practice. One station actually is how to walk them through how to tackle, how you want to properly tackle it, and then you can have a full goal one, and then like if you got a tackling wheel or a bag or something like that. So we usually like to split up into like 3 groups when we do that.
Yeah,
And then Indy defense again, depending on how many coaches you got, you at least want your defensive line separate, your linebacker separate, and your secondary separate.
right.
And then your inside run hole. So how is that scripted? Those are your scout sheets.
Hmm.
So whatever opponent you're facing, I actually go through and draw up all their run plays, and then I hand them to the coach and be like, "Here, I want you to run these plays." So when we were a 5-2, all 7 guys were over there doing during the inside run hall. The secondary again, then they got an extra period of they got an
Right.
extra period to go and work on indie stuff. So and then 7-on-7 again, those would be scout sheets handed
Right.
to the coach of all their passing plays. So and then again, team then basically I take those sheets, combine them together, and then they'd run all those plays against the full team. So, but it's mostly scout sheets for on the defense. It's not scripted that way, but it is all drawn up in diagrams.
Cool. I appreciate it.
So,
What
but
a guy
again,
just
if you have a little bit longer practice, you can just make your periods a little bit longer. But that's all that's done in 2 hours, offense and defense. But again, as coaches, you got to be detailed, you got to be scripted, and you got to have all this stuff done ahead of
Mhm.
time and talk about it as a staff. Like in DL before it was boring as hell, but our head coach had all this stuff done, our daily thing for the full 2 weeks. He already had it all printed off, handed it to us. We went through every single day and what we were doing before those 10 days started. We sat as a staff and did it. So and then once doing it over the years, like I still have all my plays that I made. Once
Mhm.
you've done it, you just save those plays. Don't ever throw your plays away because you can just go right back if you keep them in a folder. Certain this offense, certain that offense, you can just pull those sheets back out again and reuse them again that week. So
All right.
again too, you'll have this again. So I put down anytime what the quarterbacks are going to be doing, what the running backs are going to be doing, what the wide receivers are doing, what the offensive line should be doing. Again, offensive line. I'm an offensive line coach for I don't know what 6 years I did offensive line. I have a lot of line stuff. So I have it all that broken down on there for you. Defense, I kind of like I said, scout sheets is what it ends up being instead of script sheets. It ends up being scout sheets, but I have that broken down too a little bit more. So and like for us, when we were, if you are a 4-4, well, again, 11 man. If you're 4-4 defense, then all 8 guys would be there for that. So
Whatever the base front is, that's who's involved in the run hole.
let's see what else do I got. Timo script. I got here. If you guys do have shoots over there, I have all my shoot drills on here. I have my cutoff for chasing linebackers. Since for getting the second level, I have all those drills on here. I have my combo blocks. I think I have all my combo blocks on here. I have a weekly practice schedule and what we do during the season. I have a depth chart, sample depth chart, and a sample special teams depth chart. So I have all that stuff on here. So you guys will have all that when I send it to you.
Appreciate that.
So yeah, basically I just started building this when I started this when me and Matt started building our offenses. Is I just kept adding on to these. Our whole first one was just basically about these two here. And then each time when we got together, I just kept adding on and building it. So, is there anything else there, guys?
No.
Go
Okay.
ahead, ask away. Now's the
I
time.
think coach is saturated.
Yeah, you. That's you one that's still getting used to doing all this. I definitely don't want to oversaturate myself.
Yeah. Well, like I said, you'll have this to reference to. But yeah, like you said, you definitely can see how it's beneficial though to have it 4 days, because now if you have 2 weeks for practice, well, days 1 through 4, you can do your whole install. Day 5, you can do more specialty stuff. Like if you want to work on 2-minute offense, that kind of stuff, you can get a little bit more away from this. Work out some of the kinks of that. Then you're going to come back and do your exact same set schedule again. And then on that Friday, you can again do whatever, work on extra stuff. Maybe have it more team orientated or have some competitive drills. And you can kind of get away from that and just do a little bit more other stuff away from the install on day 5.
I guess the last question I'll ask, and this is doing with organization and teaching of the team. If we don't have anything like huddle, what's your recommendation for?
I want to be getting huddle. You don't worry about that.
Okay.
I'll be getting that event here in soon.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
disregard.
I was like,
This is Excel.
Yeah, of course.
yeah.
Yeah, but you can go right to Google and just do Google Sheets and do Google documents for free and just type this up.
Okay. I was more so talking about playbook or getting them stuff to see the plays if we don't have like huddle. But
Oh, gotcha.
I'm gonna get that. I mean, I've also used in the past for basketball Google site too.
Okay.
I've created
Fine.
a Google site.
We don't hand out play sheets to our players.
Yeah.
We don't believe in that. None of my coaches have ever believed in that. It's draw it up on the board before practice. Now we have film on the plays, so now we can actually show film on the plays and how they run. And then it's to go out and go outside, walk through the plays, and then again, like I said, your individual time, your 7-on-7, it's perfecting those plays for that day. And then the next day, it's another set of plays. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So you're just really focusing on those plays. So it really kind of makes it nice for the players because they're only having to focus on just that day. And it just kind of builds off itself.
Cool. I think that pretty much answers it all for us. And of
Yeah.
course, we'll reach out with any follow-up questions.
What's that?
I said I think that pretty much answered it all for us. And of course, we'll reach out with any follow-up questions.
Yes, absolutely. I'm available. Even though work's getting a little bit busier, I'm still get back to you as soon as I can. So yeah, I'll just share this to you guys because I already have your emails when we get off of here. So
Yeah, sorry, coaches. Just a quick question for you. I feel like I've messed up this international timing. How long is it almost over?
It's 4 p.m. here in Europe.
Yeah, gotcha. No, it's 10:30 at night time here in Australia, mate. So yeah, apologies, coach, if I've jumped in late on that one. That's on my end. Just a quick question for you as well. Just to follow up on that one. So you just draw it straight up on the board. You don't use anything along the lines of like Playmaker X or anything along those lines?
huddle, like they said, huddle,
Yeah.
I can go back to my huddle and show you what huddle looks like.
Thanks, coach.
Huddle, you can make. Huddle allows you to make plays.
So coach was kind enough to record the whole thing for us. So.
I'll go back to that. So yeah, appreciate that.
So I can share that with you. But yeah, huddle allows you to make plays, and it saves it all by formations. Like if I switch formations here,
Yeah, easy. No worries.
there you go. I mean, it's not really slot left, but it allows you to change, and it'll save all your formations there, and it already has in here defenses already saved.
So one thing I noticed with that as well, it goes with 11 man. So there's no presets to change it to 9 man as well, is there?
No, but you just do this. This is what I did today when we started.
What about that?
I just go like that. Delete.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
I was about to ask him that question right there.
So there you go. Now we went from 9-man to 11 or 11-man to 9-man just by deleting guys. So that's what I did when we started today. I just deleted those
Thanks,
guys
Coach.
off of there, and we didn't need them. And I just labeled my guys. Like I said, the slot right. This one was the best because this is the one I use when I'm making plays for my friend. I just deleted the tackles, and then I just moved the Y in like.
Mm.
Yeah, it's not letting me do anything right now, but I just moved the Y in earlier, and then they're I had 9-man, so.
Thanks, Coach.
But it's not letting me do any changing anymore. So you'll get to see the plays on the replay of it. But and I can send you. See, stop the share on that, and I can also, since you're on here, I will send you this too if you're interested in how to organize practice.
Thanks, Coach.
When you just started on, I was just telling these guys that old school back in the day, and when I played and coached at first, we did 10-day. But since I've learned air raid, Coach Salas now they go to a 3-day, so they're really flipping through the plays real fast. His first way was doing the 4-day, and so I took our offense and switched it to a 4-day install. And but what that did though, and it probably made our offense better, was to we got rid of some of the screen passes. We've totally gone away from the passing tree to concepts now, and we only have four passing concepts, so that's simple. And I cut out eight of the 16 run plays. So
question with that one for you, Coach, when it comes to the numbering, you've gone away from the numbering system into the traditional air raid, full field concepts. Is that correct?
no, not full field. No,
It's half field.
because this are just the quick. These are just the quick passes. So
Yep.
they're one step. The only thing that they're reading pre-snap is the gift side.
Yep.
And if it's not there, they go to the concept side, and then just basically read that corner, except for of course Y corner. It changes a little bit. But really, with that, then they just go to the concept side. And the only drop back game that we have is choice, but we're not doing it like the traditional choice. We're telling the quarterback, hey, we're throwing it to this guy pre-snap.
Yeah. So it's a
Predetermined called on that. We're
predetermined.
taking that out of the quarterback's hands. So he doesn't have to think, because we spend so much time for us. We spend so much time on the run game, as this is only 20% of our offense. So why learn all this stuff for 20% of our offense?
Is that why mesh is not in there as well? Too expensive?
What's that? Yeah,
Mesh.
mesh is not going to be on a part of our offense. Definitely not.
Yeah.
So we don't have shallow. We
It's
don't
a-
have mesh. We don't have any of the full field reads.
Yeah, cool. Sweet, that's no worries.
So
Thank you.
that's yeah, 80%. We are out of gun, but we are 80% run. So
I respect that. Establish the pass through the run. I respect that.
yeah. So and then air raid is just new to me this year, but I
Mhm.
loved it so much. And I told my coach on Oregon, I'm like, I don't care if they know that if we get into trips, I don't care if they know we're passing the ball. They can't be right. So they don't know what
How
route.
have you found it so far? How have you found the transition to the new scheme or the new philosophy?
This is our first year, so I haven't had we haven't really experienced yet. So
Yeah.
to know how it's going.
Mhm.
So, but like
I installed it into our national flag team, so 5-a-side. So I took our offensive system for 9-man and put it into our 5-side. Same concepts, and just to speed up the process, and it was quite a beneficial thing to do. So using that off-season flag and just running the same systems, it was surprising actually. So
I could
definitely
imagine. Well, that's just like I was saying for us. We get 8 practices in the summer, so you get to install your whole entire offense twice. And then when you come in, then you got a mini camp at the end of July before the dead period, so you get to install the whole offense again. So that's 3 times. And then you got 2 weeks before the season starts, which is just there's going to be starting up here soon here in Minnesota. They'll get to install the offense again 2 more times. So that'll be 5 times before the season starts. You get to install your whole entire offense. That's instead of 1 time.
Mhm.
So that's so beneficial to go into something like that. And then so Okay, so let me ask you for on your flag then, if you are air raid, do you just do one set of plays that day, or do you use your whole arsenal?
So what I'll do is I'll do it install, so I'll scaffold on it. So say for example, we will go through an install. We were in the classroom for the first 45, actually going through why we actually do everything, inside, outside release, what the formations are. That's already installed. Day one is all about the formations. And then after that, we'll go into, we'll actually record from behind as well. So we'll get up on that GoPro with the pro, with the stick, looking down.
Yep.
So we'll get all that film as well. So we'll install one play, and then I'll accomplish. Oh, and then I'll add that in with the defense working on certain coverages as well. So that if they get different looks, then they can change at the line of scrimmage. So this is for our senior men's. So that's, he's 20 years old, so he can
Okay.
read. He can, because we run a 3-3-5. So I'll mess with these guys a lot and
Sure.
give them a single high, double high. Like I'll drop back the safeties. And then it's capped for me. So put your cap on for my quarterback. It's like, what's the coverage? What's the alignment? What's the personnel? And then those two plays, we just rip those.
Yep.
Next one we go with 2 hours. We got 6 plays, 6 passing plays. That's it.
Okay.
And we just rotate those 3. We get it on that film. We go back into that film. We break that down.
Yep.
Hey, this is wrong release here. Inside release is wrong. This is too shallow. With my Y, like with the Y cross and the mesh that we took, like I talked about, was I'll install those very, like, if they've got the capability to run it.
Sure.
I've got wide receivers that can sit when they understand not an identify zone, but 9 times out of 10 they don't do that. So it's just a straight drag man concept on that one.
Sure.
Because it's a condensed field as well, so it's fast.
Yes.
The reads are really quick. So, but we'll look forward to seeing how it translates into the 53 and a third size field with 11 players on the field, or 9 players on the field. So,
Yep.
I have actually had our first training today, so I'm quite positive. There's some good size out there, so
Okay.
won't even worry about the passing game at the moment, to be honest.
Yeah.
Hey, coach, we're
Yeah.
we're gonna go ahead and jump the deuces, but we'd love to, hear this conversation as well. So keep it recording, and then we'll play back. And like I said, we'll reach out to you.
Yes, sounds
with
great. Yep.
follow-up questions.
Thank you guys.
Thanks
Have
so
a
much,
good
Thank you so
guys.
much.
Yeah.
day.
Yeah, have a good one.
Yeah,
Yep.
see you
Have a good
later.
one, guys.
Yeah.
So
So
what time
what
is
was
it?
it?
What time is it there, you said?
10:30 at night time here. 10:45 at night. So apologies for that one, coach.
Oh yeah, that's fine. No, I didn't know the difference. Usually I just Google it for guys, but yeah, I was
Yeah,
up
no,
at
I had
8
to.
o'clock this morning with those guys. But the problem is neither one of my stupid teams the one team I help, in Oregon, they haven't paid their bill yet, so it's not allowing me to edit the playbook that much.
Oh no. Yeah,
Those
that's not
momos.
great.
I gotta get after him. He's been so busy with travel baseball in Oregon that because I don't coach on the field right now. I just consult and run my groups. So
Yeah.
that's all that I
Are
do
you
right
are you transitioning away from coaching or towards coaching?
now. I didn't have a choice. I got married and got pregnant, and my coaching days were been done since. So
Yeah, nice.
and that's why
So
I started. That's when COVID hit here, I basically worked 2 days and had 12 days off. So that's when I started making my YouTube videos, and then then I started learning these football groups on Facebook,
Mhm.
and then it's just growing from there. And now I host, if you've seen him in the group there, I host Zooms all the time. But
Yeah.
I don't lead the Zooms this year. I had all coaches come in and speak on there all the time.
Oh, that's awesome. It's a great. I mean, our community, our coaches need to
So if you haven't
share
got
ideas.
this book, I recommend you got this book.
What do you got there? I can't quite see it there, coach. What's the top of it there? Can't quite.
It's a high school air raid playbook and manual.
Is it yourself or?
No, my coach Joe Salas.
Oh yeah.
He's coached with Hal Mummy and Mike Leach, and I had him on twice. He did 2 Zooms for me. He taught me mesh. But I'm like, my buddy's like watching this, and he's like, "Oh, I think we should run mesh." I'm like, "Do you know how much time?"
It's
Like he
very
makes it look he makes it look easy because they're so in tuned. But do you know how much
Yeah.
time it takes to learn all that and the intricacies and and all
Yeah.
that. I'm like, no, we don't have time to be putting that in. We're not gonna be putting in mesh. It looks pretty, but no, not for our offense. And then I had him come in and cover the quick game because
It's just nice. It's a nice
with-
idea. It's a nice, not the Porsche.
yeah, with us switching to the quick game, I wanted to have him come on and cover his quick game. So I had him do that. So
That's fantastic.
yeah, it was great.
And I
But
wouldn't
his-
want to take up too much more of your time,
But
Coach.
his book was only $20.
Yeah, I'll check that out.
And-
I've
and
also
he-
got,
and he,
I've also, yeah, go.
He had a goal of like what to make in a year, what for sales. He said he doubled that yearly goal in the first month of books. So
When it's quality, it sells. Like
Yeah.
I've also looked into Dan Casey's Mesh, the guy from Mesh, and that's a great resource.
Yep.
Just to look at, see the videos and all that type of stuff. So if Joe's got a digital version of that, that's fantastic. Like
I don't know. I just
Yeah,
got it
I'll
on I just got it on Amazon. I don't know if it's digital there or not.
just finished the Toby Raymond Delaware Wing Tea, so it's always good to get back to that's a great book too. That's a fantastic book. If you haven't read it yourself.
No, I don't have many books because I've been running the same offense since I was in 7th grade. So
yeah, I see that. Is that the midline inside veer, more of the
Yep.
power?
Yep.
Yeah.
Midline inside veer and outside veer. And so as a player, we were split back veer under center.
Mhm.
When I started coaching there, we were under center flex bones. We still ran the exact same concepts.
Mhm.
And then we got a little bit older. We got to hand me that. Put that down.
Mhm.
Hand me that, please. Sorry, my kids.
That's all right. That's good.
And then we went to gun and did some of the gun stuff. And then I ended up moving to California with my best friend. And so then we went totally full bore with running it out of gun and implementing everything. And in 11 games, we rushed for 4,300 yards. So our last 2 games of the season, we rushed for 600 yards in back-to-back games. So
That's great.
we
It's a good running game.
yeah. And I think
Works.
I think we maybe threw the ball 10 or 12 times in those 2 games. So again, that's why we don't spend a lot of time in the passing game, but having a passing tree was kind of not really necessary for us because you're having to teach your receivers 10 routes and plus all the tagged routes, and it's just for what, for them
Exactly.
to
It's
go
a lot.
block.
It's expensive. It's
Yeah.
expensive. Yeah,
So-
and 6 plays, be a master of get really good at 6 concepts instead of
Yes.
trying to learn 30, almost 100 average. So yeah, I totally agree. That was one of the things I actually moved because we have a club-based format in Australia. So we
Mhm.
have clubs. So it's a little bit different. So, but that's one thing I noticed when I moved from one side of the country to the other. I was actually in El Paso, Texas, coaching in Cathedral down there for a bit, and then I moved back to Melbourne. Then I moved over to the other side of the country in Western Australia, and they were still using the numbering system even till last year, and it was an interesting concept to kind of try and understand where they were coming from with it. So
Mhm.
this year they've gone to more of a air raid passing concept. So we'll see see how it turns out. I think it's already for the better. So
What are you using that for? Make sure it doesn't draw on anything. So sorry.
and you've got nasty splits in there as well, have you, Coach?
Yep. Yeah,
good.
our normal is 3 foot. We smart
Yep.
split it though. So oh no, she's not gonna do that. Have you taken your pill yet? Okay. Sorry.
That's all right, Coach. That's all right.
Yes, we
Life.
do smart splits. So we smart split the double teams so they hit faster.
Mhm.
And then so yeah, they end up being, and then we also go this crazy big splits. We'll go 3-yard splits. So
Yeah.
we'll just
Is it-
basically
you're
tell
right.
we'll tell that tackle this, hey, just keep walking away from that guard. And when your defender stops, you stop. Because most of the kids in high school around here, they're taught that, hey, if coach tells me to be in a 3 technique, I'm gonna be in 3 technique. Whether that 3 technique is right here or if it's way over here, that's where I gotta line up. So
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. So question with that is, what's the depth off the ball? Were they on the ear hole or the belt buckle of the center?
We like them up as close to the line as possible because we don't do a lot
Yes.
of pulling because we want to get to
Yep.
that double team and get to the next level as soon as possible.
Yep. No, that's fair. No worries.
So
Um,
a lot of the wing T guys and a lot of those and the single wing guys, they like to be as far off the ball as possible because they're giving them more room to pull.
yeah, I've definitely been looking to the world of counter trap and power lately. So been really
Yep.
enjoying that side of it. So I've gone from the passing game more into that side of it. But yeah, the playbook's coming along. I'd love to even send it to you so you can have a quick look and see if there's anything you like in there as well. So
Yeah, and I can share this with you too, so you can have
Yep.
all this. Because the big thing is, I
Appreciate
was
that.
telling them, I'm like asking them how much time they had to practice,
Mm.
and they're like, "We have over 2 hours." I'm like, "Well, here you can cover offense, all your offense and defense in 2 hours." But
Yeah, get it done in 90 minutes, coach.
hold on,
Yep,
hold
no
on a
worries.
second. What's wrong? You can watch YouTube on my phone. Yeah, you can play a game. You've got the TV all morning. Here. Here's Daddy's phone. Here. Then you can stop and watch and do what you want to. Here. What do you want to watch on YouTube? I can type it in for you. What do you want to watch? No. Get away from there. Put that back. Put it back. Put it back. What do you want to watch, buddy? Here. Here's the one that you were watching. Oh, okay, I'm back. Okay, I'm back.
No worries, coach.
90 minutes?
Yep, get it done.
Oof, duh, I couldn't do it.
We won't condition or anything along those lines either. Everything is fast. So our warm up is 8 minutes, four corners, bang, bang, bang. And then we're straight into indies after that as well. So we don't jog between our drills. We jog between our drills. We'll use that for conditioning. Like by all means, I'll tell the guys, hey, look, if you want to do conditioning at the end, we can do it, or we can do it during training. So yeah, it's really important we
Don't
script
put
everything.
that in
as
there.
well.
Doesn't go in there. Hand it to me. That disc. You need the other. She needs that black one. She's got a Lego in there. Come on. Sorry.
That's all right, coach. Hey, by all means, if you know if you got to attend to that, I don't want to hold any of your time up. But if that's all right, you're all right.
Yeah, I can, like I said, this will be recorded, so and I'll post this, and then, and I already got your email. So I'll share
Yeah.
this and that, and then we can get together another time too, if you want.
Yeah, no, I'm always keen to talk ball, coach. So I do appreciate your time and value
So
it.
it's
So
2:30 in the afternoon or 2:30 AM in the
no,
morning?
it's 10:30 at night time here.
Oh, dang. Okay.
It's almost 11 o'clock at night on a Sunday. So just
Yeah,
the time
no.
difference.
Yeah, we don't want
Yeah.
to keep you up much later than that. No, so I'll get up earlier next time, and I'll do it. I'll get up earlier for you. I'll get up at like 6 AM and we'll do it then.
I'm always
Football.
keen to talk ball, coach. So if there's
So-
anything you want to talk about, or I'd love to hear what you have to say about lots of things too. And
Yeah.
when it comes to anything with football, so
Okay.
no worries.
Yeah, maybe
You have a
next
good day
weekend I
anyway.
don't have the kids, and then we can do it then, and I'll get up early and we'll talk ball early in the morning. I'll keep in touch.
Oh, thanks, hey. Thanks, coach.
Yeah,
Have a great
let's
day.
do that. Yeah, you too. Bye.
See you later. Bye.